In Pittsburgh, we talk a lot about the standard. It's not something you can see or touch. It's a mentality.
The pass is intercepted on a tip.
When your name is called, you don't just aim to hold the bar that was set by those before you. You raise it.
Mr. Rooney, this is yours, man.
And for the young men who hear their names called this weekend, it will be the realization of a lifelong dream. For those whose names are preceded by
the Pittsburgh Steelers select,
the journey to reach the standard begins. For front offices around the NFL, a road less traveled is certain. A road paved in uncertainty that yields opportunity. The Steelers have utilized the draft as the main tool for building 6 championship rosters across the last 5 decades. Following a season so different from any prior, one thing remains the same. The standard is the standard. The film has been studied, the grades have been given, following countless meetings and interviews, the draft board has been assembled. And now, it's time to trust the process. As the spotlight shines on the future, history whispers a reminder that a tradition that was built by the men that came before them carries with it the keys that ensure the standard is met. And so, the stage is set. The NFL is ready to rock and roll as we now count down to the 2021 NFL Draft.
Welcome to the 2021 Steelers Draft Countdown Show with Art Rooney II, Billy Gardell, Cam Heyward, Tyson Alualu, Pat McAfee, Rod Woodson, Casey Hampton, Lamar Woodley, also featuring Bill Crawford, Mike Prisuta, Matt Williamson, and Dale Lolley. Now let's send it over to your host, Missi Matthews.
Hi everybody, welcome inside Heinz Field and welcome to the Steelers Draft Countdown Show presented by UPMC. We are so excited for tonight. The Steelers have a first-round draft pick, unlike last year, 8 picks over the course of this 3-day draft. And as Kevin Colbert said, very doubtful that they will draft up, but there is a chance they could trade back. As he said, everything is wide open. They are not specifically looking for a certain player or position. And all things get started in Cleveland at 8 p.m. So we have a great lineup of guests, as you saw, coming your way. And we're going to kick things off with Pittsburgh native, comedian, actor Billy Gardell. And this is presented by Power Home Solar. Billy Gardell, thank you so much for joining us once again. You're like, a founding member of the Steelers Draft Show. So, all right, I know you're still out on the West Coast.
Thanks for having me, Missi. I appreciate you.
No doubt. Anytime we get to spend with you is a bunch of good time. So explain to us what you have been up to. Catch us up on life before we talk a little draft.
Well, I just wrapped the second season of my show, Bob Hart's Abishola, and we are already picked up. Thank you. We are already picked up for season 3. I'm excited about that. We made it through the whole season without having to shut down because we followed all the protocols, and we only had a couple cases of COVID, but because of the way that they had it set up with testing and contact tracing, we were able to isolate that, and the show was able to continue on. The crew was amazing, and I'm very grateful, to know there's a job coming in September. So I'm happy about that. And I love the TV season starts right when football season starts. They've always synced up for me. So I love that. And then this summer is about getting my kid to college. He's going off to college.
Just crazy.
First Gardell male to make it to college.
All right. Well, tell him we said congrats as well. A lot of exciting stuff. Okay.
Thanks.
A lot can happen in this NFL draft, as we know, every single year. The Steelers have a first-round draft pick this year, unlike last year. So if you are playing GM, if you're Kevin Colbert, what are you doing on day one?
Well, I would never I would never attempt to overstep the great and powerful and wise Colbert. But here's what I missed, and this is something, I don't know if this is going to be Ben's last year or not. I don't know. He hasn't made a formal decision, right?
No.
But those things are in the air now. So to me, everybody thinks we should start looking at quarterbacks, and we should at some point. But to me, what I miss, and maybe this is just my Steelerness, but I want a big, punishing running back. I don't want a little guy who scoots to the right and gets a yard and a half, or breaks one in the middle of the game. I want a guy that grinds your bones underneath the train tracks. Like I want we need like a minibus, or we need another version of Franco. I like a punishing back. There was nothing I love more in our days, in our glory days, than having those running backs that, like, if there was 5 minutes on the clock, and even if we were up by 2, you saw them come trotting out, it was game over. It would just grind you down and break your will and make you remember that for the next time you play us. So I want a big punishing running back. And I also think having a big running back in place when it is time to transition quarterbacks, that will keep the pressure off that quarterback if you have a strong running back, if you have an option to go to that. And so, he's still going to have to learn systems and all that stuff. But I'd love to get a guy that can just slam the middle right from the start, like one of those quick impact guys. I really like that kid from Clemson. I think that would be a pick, but I don't know if we're going to be high enough to get somebody like that. And I don't know what they're thinking either, but I'm just an armchair quarterback like everybody else. So.
Well, that's why we brought you on here.
Going, we ought to do, Missi, I'll tell you. So we'll see what happens. Part of the fun of the draft for me is seeing what they do,
Absolutely. Okay, you mentioned Franco Harris. I know you're good buds with him, and on day 2, he is going to announce one of the Steelers' draft picks. Now, are you guys such good friends that he's going to text you on the way to the podium to give you a little heads up of who that? No.
No. I would never ask that of him. I'll wait for the reveal. Franco and his lovely family, Dana and Doc, I love them to death. I like Dana a little better than Franco, if we're being honest. And I'm sure he would say the same about my wife. But we get together and we talk food and we laugh and we get to see each other when we're in Pittsburgh. And I would never ask to know that information before he gets to the podium. Like I said, I kind of like watching the draft to see how wrong I am about what we're going after.
There is an adrenaline rush that comes with it. When your team is on the clock, you're kind of like, looking through the names, searching Twitter to see what's happening. I feel you on that. I love
draft. Right, what are we going to do? Where are they going to go? What are they going to look at? And it usually ends up me going, why'd they do that? And then mid-season, I'm a complete hypocrite. I'm like, see, that was a good choice.
I like that Chase Claypool pickup, right? That's what you did last year.
Exactly.
All right. Now, Billy, I know you're superstitious. Obviously, the pandemic put a wrench in any plans of getting you to a game. Did anything with your superstitions change during the pandemic, or are you going to follow suit with the same things, that you usually like to do? I know it's that one towel over the one shoulder or something like that, right?
Very correct. The right shoulder. That's where that towel sits for emergencies. My routine here is pretty much the same. The only thing that was missing was my best friend, Joey O'Connell from Penn Hills. So our adjustment was we would call during the game, or we would call before the game and at halftime to make a little chatter. And then we have to be careful with the text, because I think I was either 2 seconds ahead of him or he was 2 seconds behind me. So our agreement was wait till the start of the next play before you text about the play previous. That way nobody's getting, the surprise isn't being taken away. But I think we adjusted pretty well and came through it good.
All right. We want to see where your Yinzer levels lie with a little game we have here called Start, Sit, or Cut. And our first topic is pizza toppings. Okay?
I'm in.
So you got to pick pepperoni, sausage, and extra cheese.
Well, I'm starting pepperoni. That's just old reliable. That's old reliable. Sausage, I'm going to sit because that's a situational thing. And extra cheese, I'm cutting. At this age, you can't have extra cheese.
All right. Next one is Cereals, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Frosted Flakes, or Honey Nut Cheerios?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch is getting cut. I can't stand cinnamon. I don't know why. I just can't do it. My wife and kid love it. They get cinnamon stuff all the time. I can't. I don't know what that's about. Honey Nut Cheerios, again, on the bench if I need you, and I'm starting Frosted Flakes.
Okay. All right, game day foods, nachos, hot dogs, and soft pretzel.
I got to start nachos because
Okay.
I think that's just that. I think there's too many variations. You can run a lot of different plays with nachos, Missi. You can run chicken, you can run beef, you can run all sorts of stuff in a nacho plate. So I'd start nachos. I would sit hot dogs, and then what was the last one?
Soft pretzel.
Oh wait, no, I got to sit soft pretzels because I like the soft pretzels. So I'd cut hot dogs.
Okay.
Sorry, hot dogs.
Well, in the soft
We wish
pretzel,
you well.
you can
You're just
dunk
not
in
right
your...
for our system.
Right. Well, soft pretzel, you dunk in the nacho cheese.
There you go.
It's
Now
a
you're
combo.
talking. Now that is true Pittsburgh right there.
There you go.
Put some cheese on that pretzel.
That's the only way I like it. Okay, Pennywood
love it.
Rides, Thunderbolt, Racers, and the Jackrabbit.
Thunderbolt gets the start. Jackrabbit out of tradition gets to sit. The Racers, I can take or leave, so I'm cutting them.
Okay. All right, Pittsburgh Tunnels. I'm sorry, this is funny just saying it out loud.
Are you kidding? I love it. Go ahead.
The Fort Pit, Liberty Tubes, or the Squirrel Hill Tunnels?
Well, the Tubes get the start because I think they're probably, I don't know a Yinzer that hasn't said, you got to shoot the Tubes. So I don't know. I think you say that. I think that's right after Mama and Dada, you say shoot the Tubes. So I give them the start. I give the sit to Squirrel Hill Tunnels because I lived out in Swissville, and I'll cut Fort Pitt. That'll be the one I had to let go. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Our last one for you: the AFC North, Browns, Bengals, and Ravens.
Let's see. I got to cut them all. I can't. I can't even pretend. Look, I'm an actor, and I can't pretend I like any of those teams. So let's be honest. Cut them.
All right, Billy. Thank you as always for joining us here on our Draft Countdown
My
show.
pleasure.
Always great to see you virtually. I hope to see you in person sometime soon as well.
Yes,
Hopefully
let's
this
get down on
season.
that field. Let's get down on that field next year. Everybody stay safe, and let's have a great draft out there. And here we go.
All right, Billy Gardell getting us pumped up for the draft starting at 8 p.m. And of course, it is going to be a very special summer in Canton, Ohio with the Pro Football Hall of Fame. There you see Steelers legend Donnie Shell getting that first look at the gold jacket. Can't wait to see him put that on at the Hall of Fame ceremonies. And last night, on the eve of this draft, a very special night, legendary Steelers scout Bill Nunn officially enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame as the first black contributor. That's his granddaughter Sydney, as they were unveiling the bust. A very special night for the Nunn family and the Steelers organization. So once again, congratulations to the Nunn family. And of course, as we are continuing to get ready for the draft, we want to hear from you, Steelers Nation. Please weigh in on Twitter from Steelers Nation Unite. Let us know, with the Steelers taking the 24th overall player tonight, who do you want to be? Who do you want it to be? Later in the show, we're going to go over your answers and see where your head's at, whether it's offense, defense, or if you want to tell us a specific player. As we get closer to the draft and the Steelers making that pick, we want to hear from you guys. So please do that. And of course, one of the people that will be in the Steelers war room on the south side at the UPMC Rooney Sports Complex will be team president Art Rooney II. A lot of decisions to be made over the next few days, and I was lucky enough to catch up with him earlier this week to talk about the draft and much more. This is presented by UPMC. Okay, Art, thanks for joining me again this year. Let's jump right into it. What is it like to kind of have that day one excitement when last year you guys didn't have a first round draft pick?
Well, it's great, actually. It was pretty strange last year in a lot of ways, including not having a first-round pick. So we're happy to be in action on day one this year and looking forward to seeing how it all unfolds.
Kevin and Coach Tomlin talked about not having the combine this year and how that has made things different for this draft process. What else, in your opinion, has been the biggest difference in terms of how you guys got prepared to get ready to go for tonight?
Well, it really has been different in that from the combine all through the draft process, we've just had less contact with the draft eligible players, which is not necessarily a good thing. You know, we think we have the information we need. You know, there's really no substitute for really sitting in a room with somebody and getting to know them, and so we didn't have that part of the process this year, and so like many things over the last year, we just have to make the best of it, and we will.
All right, Art, you have also made it very clear improving the run game is a priority for everybody. When you look at this crop of draft prospects, are there players that can help you guys do that in addition to the guys currently on the Steelers roster? You
know, there are a lot of good players in this draft, as Kevin and Coach, I think, talked about earlier in the week, and certainly some of them, I think, can help us improve the running game, which certainly is one of our goals going into this season.
Marquis Pouncey retired this offseason. Can you go back to the pre-draft process of using such a high pick on a player like him and the chance to get to know him, and why you guys were comfortable with that?
Yeah, I think, Missi, it's fair to say that centers don't get drafted number one that often, but you know, Marquis was certainly a special player. We thought he would be a special player, and he turned out that he certainly was a special player in a lot of different ways, and we'll miss him.
What are your thoughts on what the Steelers were able to do in free agency? Obviously, part of the puzzle piece leading up to this point of the draft.
Well, again, Misty, it's been an unusual year with the cap actually declining this year, so different set of challenges than normal. Obviously, we lost some players that we would have rather not have lost, but that tends to happen every year. So all things considered, like I say, I think we've come out of it pretty well, and of course we're still in the process of building this roster, and that work goes on through the draft and all the way through training camp. So we have a way to go, that's for sure.
Okay, also, since we last spoke, contract extensions for Coach Tomlin and Kevin. I want to start with Kevin. Why are both sides still comfortable at this point going year to year in terms of his staying with the team?
It's really Kevin's situation in terms of where he is with his career and what he wants to do with it. So obviously Kevin has been with us for many years now, and so it's at this point it's really not a problem going year to year, and we're happy that we re-upped for another year.
With Coach Tomlin, I feel like it's usually closer to training camp, late summer, when we hear about his contract. Was there a reason in your eyes to do it sooner rather than then?
Yeah, I think it's really, we don't really look at it that there's any particular time that's the right time to do it. Turned out this year that we had the opportunity to get things done. Coach wanted to get it done. We wanted to get it done, and so the timing just fit for this year. And again, we're happy we're able to extend Coach's contract for several more years, and really pleased that he's provided the stability that he has over his career, and that's going to go forward now for at least 4 more years.
Coach mentioned there is a good number of players who are working out at the Southside practice facility right now, safely, of course. What do you anticipate happening this offseason in terms of getting players, especially these rookies, acclimated before training camp starts?
Well, Missi, we certainly would like to have all of the players coming in, or as many as we can, coming into the facility. We feel very comfortable that it's safe. In addition to that, we'd like to get as many players vaccinated as possible. So, there's reasons for them to be here, and hopefully, as the off-season program wears on, we'll have more and more guys coming back.
All right, Art, thank you for your time. Best of luck in this year's draft.
All right, thank you, Missi.
All right, it is cliche to say, but tonight dreams will be made, lives will be changed. It is a special moment for these young athletes that have worked so hard to get to this point, finding out what team they will be going to over the next 3 days. It's fun to look back at the draft day memories, and we were lucky enough to have a great alumni table this year with Rod Woodson, Casey Hampton, and Lamar Woodley, presented by 84 Lumber.
For me, it wasn't the same combine when these guys went through it, right? So when I went through it back in '87, I think we had the first combine in Indy. So, I mean, I drove down from Purdue, which is like probably a 45-minute hour drive. I drove down to Indy. It was a 2-day event. Now it's what, 15 days?
Yeah,
about 15 days.
Yeah, about 4 or 5 days, I think.
Yeah, but, so 2 days. The first day was medical, and the second day we went on the field. And I was gone. I was back at school.
Hey, did they make like a big thing out of the 40 when you was playing? Like, was the 40 like this big thing like it is now?
It was. I mean, it's still, it's everybody wants speed, I ran a 4.30 and a 4.33. I mean, everybody made a big deal about it, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, a lot of fast guys that can't run. I can't play ball, right? They can't play. There's a lot of fast guys that can't play ball.
Exactly.
So you can run a 40 if you want to, but I'm looking for ballers.
Hey, Rod, let me ask you, what round did you get drafted in? Where did you go in the draft?
I was a 10th player taken in the first round. So in '87, Chip Banks, a linebacker for the Cleveland Browns, got traded to the San Diego Chargers. They flipped their draft picks, and then Cleveland drafted a linebacker from Duke. I didn't know linebackers came from Duke, but they did that year. So it kind of really moved me down the board because I never even talked to the Steelers. I didn't talk to Tony Dungy. I didn't talk to Chuck Noll, back in the day. I didn't talk to anybody on their staff because they thought I was going to be gone on the draft board. And then when that trade happened, I kind of slid down. And matter of fact, when I slid down like past 8, New Orleans called me and said, if you had 11, we taking you. I'm like, all right, let's do this thing. I'm on Bourbon Street. And then as soon as 10 came up, the phone rang, but they talked to my agent, Eugene Parker. And then they got me on the phone. He's like, you want to be a Steeler? I'm like, heck yeah. I just want to play ball. Let's go. What about you?
Well, I was actually a second. I went second round 46 pick.
The latest pick in this here draft is Lamar Woodley out of the University of Michigan. He is a Pittsburgh Steeler now.
And I think like the thing that stuck out to me like about the pre-draft was like everybody that they're talking about that's better than you. And like you produce more, like, and they start talking about all these other guys that's better than you. And then, you're sitting around on draft day and you starting to see they take these like guys who had like one great year. And then, luckily I actually going to Pittsburgh was my favorite team. So outside of just hearing all the Mel Kipers and all these dudes talking about all these other guys that's better than you, it was just like, damn, they just disrespecting my body of work. So I was just tired of hearing that and I couldn't wait on like getting drafted and finally going somewhere.
What about you, Casey?
I think for me it was a cool process. I think they actually came down to Texas. Cowher and Mitch came down on my pro day in Austin. And I remember working out. I remember pulling my hamstring and trying to run the 40. You know what I mean? So, and I remember getting it wrapped up and finishing everything, doing everything off. You do the 40 kind of first. So I kind of finished everything. And I remember talking to Kyle. He was talking to my agent, and they were just amazed at how I just fought through it and got through the whole workout with my hamstring and things like that. And actually, at my workout, Kyle told my agent that if I was there when they picked, that they were going to pick me. And my agent was like, "Look, man, I'm telling you, don't be telling me this if y'all not gonna pick him." You know what I mean? Don't be saying this if y'all ain't gonna pick him. So what's crazy is when they pick came up, they had the 16th pick, and so I'm kind of excited, like what's going on? You know what I mean? Whatever. So they ended up going back 3 spots.
The Pittsburgh Steelers traded down with the Jets. Now they're moving up to the podium.
So I'm like, damn, man, like, what's going on, man? You know what I mean? So Kevin Colbert called me on the phone at it was like the 17th pick or something like that. and was like, "What's going on, Cage? Like, who you talking to or whatever?" And nobody had called me or nothing like that. But I think the Colts had the 20th pick or whatever. I said, "Yeah, my agent's on the phone with the Colts right now, and he talked to another whatever the two teams after them picking." Of course, I was lying and saying that my agent told me to say that.
With the 19th selection, the Pittsburgh Steelers have chosen defensive tackle from the University of Texas, Casey Hampton.
So Pittsburgh ended up picking me at the 19th pick. That was kind of crazy how that went down.
How much communication you guys had with the Steelers before the draft, though? What about you, LaMarr? Were they like give you indications that if you were around when they pick, they're going to take you?
You know what? Like, so I had an opportunity to visit two teams. I visited the Titans and I visit the Steelers. And I know that I remember having a conversation with Coach Tomlin. They was like, if I'm around, they're going to take me. Actually, that actually happened on draft day, actually, that I knew like the Steelers was actually looking for a linebacker. So when I was watching, then they took Lawrence Timmons. I said, damn, it's over for me. They have their linebacker. I know, Coach Tomlin said they was looking for a linebacker. So during the draft, that's when they actually called me at the 45th pick. And, Coach Tomlin called me and was like, "Hey, man, you ready to come to Pittsburgh to play linebacker?" I'm like, "Man, I don't want to play linebacker, but, man, if you just take me with the next pick, I'll play any damn position." Hey, when they took me at 46, I was excited because Pittsburgh has always been my favorite team growing up.
Honestly, out of all three of us, we got drafted to an organization that had a really good culture, right? I mean, I needed that as a player. I was a knucklehead coming from Purdue. Thought I was all that in a bag of chips. So I needed a culture like that where it was kind of bare minimal, where they showed you love. There was family because the chief was still alive, right? The chief was still alive when I was there, when I first got there. And Dan was involved, but the chief used to come around all the time. So Pittsburgh was the best place for me to go as an athlete because it gave me a good culture, because the culture's already there, all the guys that came through. So having that type of culture was good for me. How was it for you guys?
Like you say, it's crazy you say that. That's like the best thing that could have ever happened. Because I can't see myself making it in like New York or like one of the big cities or something like that, man. It's like Pittsburgh really put the clamps on you. And it's kind of like you were in the NFL, but it kind of didn't feel like that when you talk to other guys or you see how other guys are doing it wherever they're at. I'm from like the country too, like, you know what I'm saying? Them big lights probably would have got me if I would have went somewhere with them big lights. So that was a blessing, definitely, going somewhere like that.
What about you, Wood?
For me, I think coming to Pittsburgh, it was a great organization from the top down. Everything felt like family. Coming into a locker room with like veteran players like Casey Hampton, where when you come in as a rookie, they treated you like family. And even like a guy like Clark Hagan, who they brought me in to replace, he treated me like a brother. He hung out with me all the time. He gave me information. And that's what I respected about the players and the organizations, like, where it's a family, being able to go in Mr. Rooney's office and like, "Hey, Mr. Rooney, can I speak to you?" And it was great. It was not, like I said, not only a great football organization, but like just far as the business wise, because when I'm doing business and I got my own personal business, I treat it just like the Steelers organization, like family, because that's how you know how to be successful when you're with a successful organization like that.
All right, in just over 31 minutes, the 2021 NFL Draft will kick off. The Steelers, of course, have the 24th overall pick, so we will see who will be the next to wear black and gold and make some memories like you saw there from the guys in our alumni table. We asked you, Steelers Nation, to weigh in on Twitter and let us know, who do you want to see the Steelers take with the first-round pick tonight? And it looks like we are getting a lot of different things here. Kevin Colbert said on Monday during their pre-draft press conference the positions that were deep: offensive line, wide receiver, running back, both inside linebacker and outside, and cornerbacks. Okay depth, tight end, quarterbacks, and safety, and not so great the D-line. It looks like a lot of people have running back on the mind or an offensive position. And of course, the Steelers have not used a first-round draft selection on an offensive player since Dave DeCastro in 2012. So we will see what tonight has in store for us. I am very excited now to have Plum native, Pittsburgh native, played in a Super Bowl, Pat McAfee. You know him from the Pat McAfee Show, joined by two of our defensive linemen. This segment, of course, is presented by your neighborhood Ford store.
Missi, thank you so much. You're doing a fantastic job. Two men join us right now that Steelers fans absolutely love. Two men that have had first-round nights that were absolutely epic. One got drafted to Jacksonville, became a Pittsburgh Steeler. The other has been beloved in Pittsburgh since the day he stepped in the league. Ladies and gentlemen, Cam Heyward, Tyson, Alualu. How's it going, fellas? How are you, Cam?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey, not too shabby. Thank you for joining us here. I'm actually getting an opportunity to work for the Pittsburgh Steelers, which was obviously the team I watched growing up. So this is a dream come true, not just to talk to you, but to have a blast. And Tyson Alualu, it is fantastic to chat with you for the first time here. Oos, how are you?
Yep, I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, no problem. Draft night, obviously. Does it bring back any great memories for either of you? We'll start with you, Cam. What was draft night like for you, and what do you expect out of some of these players and how they have to be feeling right now?
To be honest with you, I was nervous as hell. I was coming off the injury in the Sugar Bowl, knowing where you're going to go. I didn't want to go out to the draft in New York just because I didn't want to be that guy in the green room waiting around to get drafted. But got to 31 and I got picked, and man, I was ecstatic when I saw that 412 number come.
You're a perfect fit in Pittsburgh, just as somebody that's been watched from outside. Tyson, obviously you got drafted to Jacksonville, but you got picked 10th overall. Did you know that was going to happen? And was that just what a monumental moment for you and your family, I assume?
Yeah, it was. Every time the draft comes around, it definitely brings up a lot of those feelings that I had in 2010. It's crazy that it's like almost 12 years ago, but definitely a blessing. Wouldn't trade anything for it as far as like the experience of the draft, just being with my family, my friends.
In the spirit of the draft here, okay, Cam, okay, Tyson, I know you guys were prepped on this.
Yeah.
Let's do an alma mater draft, okay? 7 rounds, 7 drafts. Tyson, you'll draft obviously out of Cal because that's where you went. Cam, Ohio State. And I will draft from the West Virginia University. That is where I'll go.
All right.
Cam, I think you'll go first. And I think we'll start with 7th round, and then we'll go to first round. Tyson, you'll go second. I will go third. And then we'll go to the 6th round, and we'll just move forward. Cam, who do you have in the 7th round out of the Ohio State University to your team?
Man, I'm going to have to go. I'm going to get A.J. Hawk.
Yeah. Yes. Love that. Okay. So he's a 7th round draft pick. Okay, good. That's going to change a lot of stuff that I do. AJ obviously had an incredible career in Green Bay, all-time leading tackler as the Packer. That's your 7th round pick. Not a bad choice. Tyson, who do you have?
My 7th round pick going to be Alex Mack, center.
Golly, I remember he used to be able to do splits. You remember they had videos of him doing splits everywhere. You remember that? Like they were like, this guy, freak athlete. I don't know where he's at right now. Hell of a run, though.
Smart dude, so I think it'll be good.
My 7th round draft pick, okay? And since you drafted A.J. Hawk, 7th round, I have to get drafted higher than him, obviously. So in the 7th round, I'm taking Mark Glowinski, not to be confused with Monica Lewinsky. Mark Glowinski, offensive lineman, Indianapolis Colt, going to be an all-pro. I'm building from the trenches, okay? Listen, I'm going from the trenches. Much like Tyson, I'm building my team as a run team. Cam, go ahead and let's go into the 6th round.
So if you want to go through the trenches, I got to bring the big dog, Orlando Pace.
Oh, jeez.
Oh.
Depth over there in Ohio State. I mean, I did not even know Orlando Pace was from Ohio State. That is quite a drop. 6th round, Cam. 6th round.
Yeah, no, that's kind of low. I'm taking him early. We got more. Wow.
Tyson, who do you got in the 6th round?
I got my little bro, Cam Jordan.
Okay.
Cam Jordan. That's 6.
Hey, hell of a football player there, Cam, by the way. 6th round, the West Virginia alma mater team. Punter, Pat McAfee. Shout out to me, dude. Shout out. 2009, I was, pick 222. Here I am, 2021, 6th round draft pick. I love what's going on. Cam, who do we have next?
Nice.
I'm gonna see if I can slip this in. Can I do a package deal for the Bosa brothers?
Hell no. No, you ain't doing that.
Why not?
You got to pick.
You made a trade for 2 5th rounders? Is that what it is?
Yeah. I got 2 5th rounders for the Bosa brothers.
You got to pick one. Now you can't have both of Bosas. Okay, you can only have one of the Bosas here in 5th round.
Right.
Well then I'll hold off. I'll go. Give me Ted Ginn.
Jeez, Ohio State is so deep. Ted Ginn in the 5th round. Jeez, he was so fast. Hey, I was scared to death to kick the ball to that guy. He was so fast. He's still, I think he's playing for the Bears last year. He's been in the league for like 55 years at this point as a speedster, Cam.
Bro, I think he was going to have
killing it.
Like a race versus a bunch of like young kids. I'm like, why the hell does this dude keep running?
If I was that fast, I would, Cam. I think we all would. You know what I mean? Tyson, 5th round. Who do you got?
I'm going with Brandon Mebane, nose tackle.
Oh.
I just know when I got the Cal, I was like, man, this is the best D lineman I ever seen.
Really?
Just being able to push the pocket, stop the run. So I think that's kind of important.
Yeah, it's a pretty important thing. I think you guys have proved that that's pretty important. I'm going to go with my 5th round pick, Steve Slayton. Okay. Good night, by the way. This is an NCAA video game where he dominated. This is now the NFL in 2021, made for Steve Slayton, basically. Let's go ahead and have a blast. Congrats to Steve, 5th round draft pick here. Who do you have, Cam, in the 4th?
I'm going to go little Bosa. I'm going to go Nick Bosa.
Oh, okay. To hell with the older.
So you like Nick better.
That's what it sounded like.
Yeah, he like Nick better.
It sounded like
I got 3 other picks. Don't do that.
I heard it because you were going to go with both in the 5th round. Then you went with
right.
Seems like there's a chance here.
Just wait. Let me make my D line.
Okay, sounds good. Tyson, 4th rounder. Who you got?
Desean Jackson, deep threat. One of the best defense. So I'm taking Desean Jackson.
Hey, there's another just guy who's been faster than everybody for the last 20 years in the NFL somehow.
Right.
4th round, I'm going to go with Pat White. Going to go with Pat White in the 4th round. I think he would have slid a little bit, because everybody underestimated him. He would dominate the NFL right now. My team's currently in the lead. We have a quarterback. I don't think you guys do. Okay, let's get to the 3rd round. Cam, who do you have?
I think I'm going to have to go quarterback here. And I got to go, damn, this is hard. Because I want to go Troy Smith because he got the Heisman. But then I'm also impartial because, I've seen Terrell Pryor and I've seen Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah, go ahead. Just name them all, Cam.
Yeah, we get it, dude.
Yeah, go ahead. You just trying to name drop.
Wait till Tyson has his quarterback, though. I mean, it's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not even going to draft the quarterback right now because we're not sure. We're going to take Ezekiel Elliott right now.
Oh, feed. Ooh. Hey, he's got that big spoon with that bowl. You know what I mean?
See? Behind him. This is the 3rd round?
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, quick question, Cam.
Right.
Zeke cool dude?
Yeah, Zeke's awesome.
Okay. I've never really known him. I only see memes of him. I don't really know him as a person. You know what I mean? I don't think I've ever really learned if he seems like he's an incredibly electric guy to be around, though, if I had to guess. Tyson, who do you have here in the 3rd round?
I'm going with Tony Gonzalez.
Oh, pretty good.
Tony Gonzalez.
He's pretty good. Yeah, he's
pretty good. He's pretty good.
Pretty good player. Yeah, he's good on TV, too, Tyson. He's good on TV, I think. Right. Yeah, I think he does well. All right, so I'm taking in the 3rd round here. I'm going to take Chris Henry, rest in peace, Slim, former wide receiver of Cincinnati Bengals, absolute stud. He's going in the 3rd round strictly because the next 2 picks, I don't think I can put him above, even though I probably should. A little conflicted here, but I got Chris Henry. Now I got Pat White handing the ball off in an RPO potentially to Steve Slayton, then throwing the ball out to Chris Henry potentially. To be honest, you might have some big names. I think our team's scrappy, probably going to win this thing. Cam, what do you have in the 2nd round?
I'm going to have to go Hall of Famer, big great Jack Tatum.
All right. So, see, now that's the issue. I obviously, because the way you said his name, Hall of Famer, he's obviously great at football. I didn't know if I should dive deep back into the program as well. You know what I mean? Yeah, but it's new football. It's a brand new league. It's a brand new league, Cam.
If we're going off that, then I'll change my pick. If you want me to go new school football, then I'll have to go Joey Bosa. No. Oh, see, you were going to miss him. You were going to miss him.
He wasn't even making the list. That's crazy.
Oh, my God, Tyson. I ruined it.
Joey wasn't even on the list, and he just forced it now.
Boom.
Wow.
Oh, my God, Tyson, I ruined that.
That's crazy.
He would have had to make some text messages, some calls. You know what I mean? He would have had to, shore some things up with the Bosa family. And here I am just giving him another chance. That's on me, Tyson. We could have had that moment. Who's your 2nd round pick, Tyson?
This was tough, man. My 2nd and 1st, I kept flipping, but 2nd pick, I'm going to go with Beast Mode, Marshawn Lynch.
The Skittles, the Hennessy. I mean, it's unstoppable. That's one of my favorite humans to ever grace this earth, by the way.
Right, I think everybody's.
Did he ever come back? Did you ever see him whenever you were in school? Were you there with? He was older than you, right?
I played with him, but he always came back. I mean, he still goes back to Cal.
That golf cart moment.
I was there to witness it. That was awesome, man.
Absolutely. I mean, it could have ended up a catastrophe, but with most things with Marshawn Lynch, instead it turned out to be absolutely epic. So that's just kind of the way beast mode operates. All right, my 2nd round pick is going to be Bruce Irvin. Obviously, Bruce, fan favorite at West Virginia, been around. I think he ran like a 4.1 or something coming out. I got Bruce in the 2nd round. Who do you have 1st round pick here? Cam Heyward. The Bosa brothers almost didn't both make this draft. Only one of them probably should have. If Cam had his way, Cam couldn't do it. Cam, who's the 1st round pick for Ohio State?
Like now, I got to pick a quarterback because I waited around.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to do a lot of apologies after this.
It's a gift and a curse. It's a gift and a curse being in Ohio State.
I think I got to give him the edge because he's got a natty and he's got the Heisman. I got to go Troy. Bro, he went down to Texas and won versus Vince Young.
Can't do that. Not easy to do. Leinart and Bush couldn't even do that, man. Okay, Tyson, I think we all know your 1st round, and this changes the whole game, I think, between all of us here, Tyson. Who do you have 1st round pick, please?
Yeah, I was thinking about putting myself. I'm gonna have to go
at quarterback.
I'm gonna go as a fallback. I'm gonna go with Aaron Rodgers.
Could you imagine you draft yourself at quarterback? Aaron will be the backup, maybe play D-line. My 1st round draft pick, Pac-Man Jones. Okay, he's punt returner, wide receiver, cornerback. Now he's a businessman. He sells pizza. I think he sells CBD right now. I think he has a label. Absolute legend. Adam Pac-Man Jones joins my West Virginia team. Cam, I can't thank you enough. The Ohio State squad. I'm sorry you had so many people to pick from. I'm sorry. I'm
sorry.
Right.
Yeah. The Ohio State. Let's look into some recruiting that's going on over there with the amount of players that he could pick from. And then Tyson, I appreciate you so much. Congrats to your Cows.
Thanks.
Congrats on coming back to Pittsburgh, by the way. A lot of people are very happy about that. And that's that. I hope the Steelers have an incredible draft and make a run next year. Cheers. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it, brother.
Appreciate it.
All right, those 3 are welcome back anytime. Now we want to head out to some fan caves that members of Steelers Nation Unite submitted. Wow. Talk about a great place to watch tonight's NFL draft. Of course, it is kicking off at 8 p.m. We are 16 minutes away from that taking place. The Steelers are slated to take the 24th overall pick, and a lot can happen there. And we are very lucky because we had some draft experts join us a little bit earlier in this week to go through and mock the entire first round for us. That is presented by RE/MAX Select Realty. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first inaugural mock draft here on the Steelers Draft Show. I, of course, am your host, Missi Matthews. Pleased to be joined by Matt Williamson, Dale Lolley, and Mike Prisuta. We are going through the first round. Matt, you are first with the first pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. Jacksonville is taking...
Yeah, I'm not going to waste anyone's time. Trevor Lawrence, quarterback, Clemson, done. Boom, move on.
All right, with the second pick of the 2021 draft, the New York Jets are taking Dale.
They're going to take Zach Wilson, quarterback out of BYU. I would take Justin Fields, who I have ranked as my second quarterback, but they're taking Wilson.
All right, with the third pick of the 2021 NFL draft, the San Francisco 49ers, Mike.
For our purposes, it's Trey Lance. They may or may not take Mac Jones, but if I'm them, I'm taking the developmental quarterback, going with Jimmy G one more year, and then waiting on that upside.
All right, moving right along with the fourth pick of the 2021 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons are taking Matt.
Kyle Pitts is really alluring here, but I want to keep this as on schedule as possible. I think a quarterback goes, whether it's Atlanta or not. So I'm going to take Justin Fields, who's also my second-ranked quarterback.
All right, the fifth pick of the 2021 NFL Draft, Cincinnati Bengals, Dale.
Bengals are going to fix that offensive line and are taking Penei Sewell, offensive tackle out of Oregon.
All right, sixth pick, Miami Dolphins, Mike.
The way this is working out, that leads me to the guy I have on my mock for Miami. As much as I want an Alabama receiver to hook up with Tua, Jamar Chase is still on the board. Not anymore. Jamar Chase, wide receiver, LSU.
All right, with the seventh pick of the 2021 draft, Matt, the Detroit Lions will take.
They're a tough one because they really could use everything. They have Hawkinson at tight end, but Pitts is just a special player. They need any pass catcher they can get. Kyle Pitts can't fall past this spot.
Okay, with the eighth pick, the Carolina Panthers, Dale, who do you have them taking?
Wow, that throws my draft into a tizzy here, but I'm going to take Rashawn Slater. I'm going to take Rashawn Slater, the offensive tackle out of Northwestern. Mac Jones is still there, but I'm going to go with the offensive tackle.
All right, with the ninth pick, the Denver Broncos, Mike.
I don't want to confuse myself here. I've got Justin Fields on my mock, but he's not there anymore. So instead, why not go wide receiver and give Drew Lock yet another weapon? Let's go with Jalen Waddle because I think he's, quite frankly, too good to still be on the board.
All right, we are at the 10th pick of the 2021 draft, the Dallas Cowboys. Matt.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Patrick Surtain, cornerback out of Alabama. Really NFL ready. They need defensive help in a big way. I think he's probably the best defensive player in this draft.
All right, Dale, with the 11th pick, the New York Giants are taking.
Well, Devontae Smith is tempting here, but I'm going to go instead with J.C. Horn, a cornerback out of South Carolina. I think the Giants could definitely use another corner.
All right, the Philadelphia Eagles with the 12th pick, Mike.
Dale, if you're going to take Horn right out from under me, akin to stealing my Pat's cheesesteak, I'll take Devonta Smith. Fly, Eagles, fly.
All right, with the 13th pick of the 2021 NFL Draft, Matt, the Los Angeles Chargers.
Christian Darrisaw. They signed Matt Filer to be one tackle. Darrisaw will be the other. And they can move those guys around, really rebuild that offensive line.
Okay, Dale, at 14, we have the Minnesota Vikings. Who do you have them picking?
I got the Vikings taking Elijah Vera Tucker, the offensive lineman out of USC. Could be a guard, could be a tackle. Doesn't matter. The Vikings need both, and so I think they take Vera Tucker.
All right, Mike, with the 15th overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, will it be Bill Belichick's dog or him making the pick? I do not know. Who do you have them taking here?
I got Mac Jones from the University of Alabama going up to New England to learn how to be an NFL quarterback for a year. and then play sooner rather than later, and maybe be Bill Belichick's next prize QB.
Okay, Matt, you are up next. 16 is the Arizona Cardinals. Who do you have them picking?
Yeah, I'm going with Greg Newsome, cornerback out of Northwestern, outside guy. They have some slot options. They need a long guy like Newsome, who tested really well at his pro day, too.
All right, with the 17th pick of the 2021 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders. Dale, this is you.
I think John Gruden would bet his house and give it up if he could get Micah Parsons, the linebacker out of Penn State, there with the 17th pick. That's my pick.
All right, Miami Dolphins will be on the clock at 18. This is for you, Mike. Who are they taking?
You know, on my mock, I've got Gregory Rousseau from Miami, but since Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is still on the board, JOK is the guy for MIA.
All right, up next is the Washington football team at 19. Matt, who do you think they'll select?
Yeah, I was going to take one of those two that just fell, but I'm going to go with Tevin Jenkins, plug him in somewhere on that offensive line, kind of complete the offensive line for the football team.
I'm hearing some boos in the crowd. All right, let's move on to 20, the Chicago Bears. Dale, this one is for you.
Yeah, that was going to be my pick. So now we're getting into that area here where we're taking each other's picks. So the Bears are going to take Rashad Bateman, the wide receiver out of Minnesota.
Okay, Mike, Indy, the Colts at 21. Who do you have them selecting?
Kadarius Toney, and give Carson Wentz yet another weapon.
All right, at 22, getting closer to the Steelers pick, the Tennessee Titans. Matt, this one is for you.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Caleb Farley. I mean, he has some back issues, so I don't really know exactly what the NFL thinks of him. But Tennessee did the same thing with Jeffrey Simmons 2 years ago, and maybe they'll wait on him like they did with Simmons. That worked out really well.
All right, up next on the clock at 23, the New York Jets. Dale, who do you have them selecting?
Oh, boy, this is getting rough now here. The Jets could use just about anything here. We've seen a little bit of a run here on inside linebackers or off-ball linebackers. I'm going to take Zaven Collins for the Jets.
All right.
Linebacker out of Tulsa.
Okay, with the 24th pick of the 2021 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Prisuta, no pressure.
You know, I had my eye on Collins, but he's not there anymore. Thank you, Dale. Let's go Najee Harris, running back, Alabama, Roll Tide.
All right, at 25, the Jacksonville Jaguars again. Matt, who do you have them taking here?
Yeah, they earned the first overall pick and have a lot of directions they can go. They also have 4 picks in the top 45. So I'm going to take what I think is the best player on the board, Jalen Phillips, an edge rusher out of Miami.
All right, at 26, the Cleveland Browns. Dale, who are they going to take in the first round?
I'm going to go with another edge rusher here. I think, this could be the way it goes. We could see those edge rushers then start to fall and get a run on them here. So I'm taking Kwity Paye, the edge rusher out of Michigan for the Browns.
All right, at 27, staying in the AFC North, the Baltimore Ravens. Mike, this one's for you.
You know, guys, there's a lot of wide receivers in this draft, but there aren't a lot of big, 6'2 plus, 200-pound plus guys. Terrace Marshall Jr., LSU.
All right, we're getting closer to the end of the first round with the 28th overall pick of the 2021 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints. Matt.
I'm going with Elijah Moore, a third option in that passing game. Kamara, Michael Thomas, add another space player that's really dynamic to that passing game.
All right, Dale, you are back on the clock with the 29th pick for the Green Bay Packers.
29th, the Packers will take Creed Humphrey, center out of Oklahoma. They lost their center in the offseason. They need to fill that spot.
Okay, Mike, number 30. The 30th overall pick goes to the Buffalo Bills. Who do you see them taking here?
Checked off all the top corners yet? No, we have not. Asante Samuel Jr.,
there you
Florida State.
All right, the Chiefs traded out of the first round. Ravens are up at 31.
That second Ravens first rounder, I'm going with Liam Eichenberg out of Notre Dame. Probably plug him right in at right tackle, already an accomplished run blocker. May even move to guard at some point, but certainly would help that line after they moved on from Orlando Brown.
All right, and with the final pick in the first round of the 2021 NFL Draft, Dale, no pressure, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, and they've got all 22 starters back, so there's no pressing need here, so they can take a guy and just kind of develop him. I'm taking Travis Etienne, running back out of Clemson.
All right, well, thank you to my favorite draft junkies for joining us for our first inaugural mock draft. Appreciate your time as always.
the Steelers draft class of 2021. Welcome to Pittsburgh. Here's a couple tips to help make you feel at home. When writing Pittsburgh, remember, it ends with an H. Don't forget about that H. Here in the Burgh, we're not really dog people. And you know what? We don't like cats much either. Come to think of it, we don't really like birds either. We consider these two equally important historical figures. We use these for sitting and for saving a parking spot. We chip our ham. We only use this ketchup. I mean, come on. We put French fries and coleslaw on our sandwiches. When we say Kennywood is open, that means your fly is dying. Our bridges end in tunnels, and our tunnels end in bridges. Now look, we got a couple more bridges than we do tunnels. We got 446 of them. People that live 150 miles away from Pittsburgh always say they live just outside the city. We're also home to the greatest fan base in all of professional sports, proudly labeled Yinzers. Black and gold ain't just our favorite colors, they're the only colors. On Sundays, we will be in here to cheer you on loudly and proudly. And yeah, we might offer some criticism in that, but mainly we come in here to chant, "Here we go, Steelers, here we go." So welcome to Pittsburgh, and remember, don't forget about that H. We got like 20 weeks left till the season starts. You want to just wait right here?
Bill Crawford, I keep looking inside of the stadium. I don't see him. Security told me, though, they saw him in section 219 a little bit ago trying to get down to the field. So transitioning to a little bit of Steelers news right before the draft starts at the top of the hour. We're almost less than 4 minutes away. The Steelers have signed quarterback Mason Rudolph to a one-year contract extension that will take him through the 2022 season. So Ben Roethlisberger, Mason Rudolph, Josh Dobbs, and Dwayne Haskins, the four quarterbacks currently on the Steelers roster. Kevin Colbert was asked on Monday about possibly drafting a quarterback this weekend, and he said, quote, "Can we add a young one? Absolutely. We always have to be on the lookout for that next guy to try to predict the value of taking the player at that position, because most likely a young quarterback won't be playing for the Steelers in 2021. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Thank you to all of our great guests who participated. We hope you are ready for the Steelers to select with the 24th overall pick. Here is a look at Cleveland as things are about to get underway for the 2021 NFL Draft. Don't forget, Mike Prisuta will be back with me after the Steelers pick for instant analysis and live press conferences from the South Side. We'll see you then.